All right, Matt. So you like anime, and I like
Love it.
anime. And every anime has a main character. But the one thing they also have is supporting characters. Every anime's
yeah.
got them, and I want to know your top 10.
You want to know my top 10? I'd like to know your top 10. But who
Okay.
goes first?
Well, I tell you what. I can go ahead and start off. And we'll, what do you say? We just run down the list, we'll talk about them a little bit, and then we go to the other side.
Okay. For those who don't know what a supporting character is, though, what is a supporting character?
You know what? Probably a good point. So I would say a supporting character is somebody who is very reoccurring. It's pretty much the main character. It might as well be the main character, but it's not the main character.
If it was like One Piece, it could be any of the Straw Hats except Luffy.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But I don't think it could be like in Air Gear, there's a little comedic crow that they use occasionally. That
The comedy
would qualify.
relief, right?
Yeah. It can't be one-offs.
Yeah. Supporting character is basically someone who's there to help the main character.
Correct.
Ah, yeah, cool. Sounds good to me. I can't wait to hear your 10. Hit me with it.
All right. So, starting at number 10, we'll watch Mojo this. My number 10 is actually Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
That low?
Yes. And so...
Wow.
I always talk about it with anything related to Dragon Ball Z. I am huge into Dragon Ball Z for those who don't know.
Yeah, a little
bit. My background may be a different anime, but Dragon Ball Z is my life.
Let's just make it very clear here why I'm so shocked that Vegeta is number 10. Right? This man has met the Vegeta voice actor how many times?
I think I've met him 4 times now.
Four times. He has a pop vinyl collection of Dragon Ball Z figures that he gets the cast to sign, and he's put Vegeta at 10.
I've got Dragon Ball Z autographed posters behind my computer.
I'm already wildly invested in this list if you put him at 10.
I'll say it once. This can be a broad statement. The reason why Dragon Ball Z is always so important to me is nostalgia. When it comes to actual anime rankings, Dragon Ball Z, if you look at it for what it is, it's I'd say like a 7 out of 10 if you just look at it. But I've watched it for over 25 years now, so
I can already feel the hate comments.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get a Discord message after this.
Wow, Vegeta at number 10. Okay, I have no idea what to expect with this list anymore. Go on.
It's all over the place. So my number 9 is actually Ryu from Danmachi, the Gale Wind. Something about her shyness and how she's constantly like trying to aid from the background. I don't know.
Okay.
It makes me laugh, and she's one of my favorite reasons to watch the show.
Because I've never actually watched the show, so this is interesting.
So Danmachi is the short name. The long name, for those who don't know, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Oh, that!
Yes.
Right. I've still not seen it, but okay. Right.
So the long name makes it sound worse than it is, and the funny part is it's not even about picking up girls in a dungeon.
Okay.
I think they mention it. They mention it in like the first episode.
Okay.
One thing I forgot to mention at the start of the video. This video obviously is about a bunch of different anime. It has a chance of spoilers. So if you are not caught up in a bunch of these anime, or you haven't read the manga ahead, like I have on some of them, there will be spoilers. We will let you know when there's a spoiler. I say that because there's getting ready to be a spoiler.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be 1 or 2 spoiler things in my list as well.
Yeah, so we'll start off by saying, for those of you who are not caught up in Solo Leveling, this is your spoiler warning. It is going to happen soon, but it hasn't happened yet.
I don't read it. I don't read it. I watch it, but I don't care, so it's fine.
So, spoiler warning. My number 8 is Beirut from Solo Leveling. Now, it happens at the end of Season 2. I won't go into definition of how or who he is, but Beirut is my favorite. Massively reoccurring character. Great. I don't know how they're going to do it in the anime, but in the manhwa, the actual comic, great comic relief. Hilarious, very animated. I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited.
Okay, that's interesting. So I I do read webcomics and stuff like that, but I hadn't read Solo Leveling. But you turned around to me and said, Solo Leveling has an anime now, watch it, it's incredible. And you're right, the anime is incredible. I do mean to read the webcomic, but yeah, okay, good to know.
There's 200 chapters, and I binged it in a weekend, and it was worth it, and I'd do it again. I actually own half of it upstairs.
I love it.
All right, so on to my number 7. My number 7 is from Dandadan. I wouldn't consider this one a major spoiler because it's really a season 1 introduction. But Gigi from Dandadan, he has a very extravagant personality. The voice actor is actually Zenitsu from Demon Slayer and what's his name? Jinu, the main character of Solo Leveling. It's the same voice actor.
Oh,
it's hilarious. Yeah, Gigi's one of my favorites in the show.
I've seen a few episodes of Dandadan. I need to watch more of it.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah, I got that from the first couple episodes. Yeah,
So I've heard it goes in different routes, but that's another conversation. Okay. So my number 6 is Vice Captain Hoshino from Kaiju number 8.
Another one I haven't seen. Okay.
This is just going to be me telling Matt that he has to watch these animes. Go watch Kaiju number 8.
This is us getting recommendations from each other.
That's exactly what it is. So the reason why I like Vice Captain Hoshino is he's very lighthearted, but when he turns around, he's that almost that demonic glare. Like you can tell they're overpowered, and I don't know. That's interesting to me.
Okay.
But my number 5 is one that everybody should know because Naruto is literally one of the biggest animes to ever exist. My number 5 is Shikamaru from Naruto.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. Okay.
Yeah, so I've always loved his lackluster care and his sarcasm, but at the same time, when the going gets rough, he is able to crack down. He's able to strategize. He's very analytical, and I feel like I've based a lot of my life around that. Like I'm very easygoing, but when I need to be in a stressful situation, I can just analyze everything straight through. And so I feel like I'm always related to Shikamaru.
Yeah, he's the one who'd like to avoid the fighting, but if he has to, he will. He's an interesting choice because there's a lot of characters you could grab from Naruto. And maybe I grabbed someone from Naruto. We'll see.
So now we're going to get into the top 4. So my number 4.
No? Was that number 5?
Yeah, that was number 5. Shikamaru was number 5.
Oh, okay.
So number 4 is Fern from Frieren. So
I was considering putting her on my list, but I didn't. Okay.
So she kind of goes hand in hand with Stark because her interactions with Stark are so funny. And I almost thought of doing Stark's master, the dwarf, but I think he's not reoccurring enough. He's in flashbacks.
He's not a supporting character. He's a previous character.
Yeah, I don't know. Him falling head first off a cliff was just hilarious.
See, I thought about putting Fern on my list, but the reason I didn't was because I'd want to put Fern and Stark together on the list because I feel like together they're the supporting character. I feel like they're two pieces of the same thing. But okay.
So I love her reactions. I love the strength that she shows because, I mean, really she gets OP quick. But her pouty faces, they crack me up every single time.
She's a very fun character.
We'll narrow down into my top 3 now. Now, the top 3, we're just going to blanket statement this. If you haven't watched the massiveness that is the 1,000+ episodes of One Piece, really, if you haven't watched the first... The first 350...
I was wondering where the One Piece was. Okay, go on.
If you haven't watched the first 350 episodes, these will be spoilers to you, but I'm not going to really spoiler warning them because it's been out for 15 years.
Yeah, fair enough. It's from that point. At this point. Yeah.
But if you haven't watched One Piece past then, you're not going to like this next bit. So, my number 3 is
just
Brooke.
End the video here, or skip to me.
There'll be chapters down low if he does his job, so...
okay.
I'm putting this one on you.
Calling me out. All right.
So yeah, my number 3 is Brooke from One Piece.
Outstanding choice.
Brooke is hilarious, both in the dub and the sub. I think Ian Sinclair does a fantastic Funimation dub, but just hilarious character overall. My number 2, also from One Piece, is Zoro.
Interesting. Okay.
I put Zoro at number 2. Now, so I love Zoro. I love the friendship that he has. He keeps Luffy in line. Also a Chris Sabat character, which is another reason that he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Vegeta and Zoro. What a resume.
He's over 600 accredited roles. It's wild.
Right.
But and my number one, we'll round off the list, also from One Piece, is Nico Robin.
Wow, you put Robin above Zoro. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Robin's sense of humor kills me. Because it's not your typical like slapstick comedy. It's that dark, dreary, man, we could all get squished to death down here.
Yeah.
Everything she does is hilarious. I love her backstory. I love everything that's happened. I'm fully caught up on the anime. I've read ahead in the manga. I am like week to week reading it, and everything that happens just makes me love her so much more. I think her journey throughout the entire story is one of the strongest, for sure, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's definitely probably one of my favorite. Not Luffy.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, that's a heck of a list. I'm impressed you put One Piece at top 3, all 3. Honestly, it's a great list. The only thing that shocked me is Vegeta at 10. It's the only thing that shocked me. Nico Robin coming in at 1 is surprising to me, but I get it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a hell of a list, man. It's a hell of a list. All right.
Yeah. Let's hear yours. I'm curious.
So I'll preface mine with obviously the same spoiler warning. There are 1 or 2 that will be spoilers. But also, I've done something a little bit different to you. I've done my best to not have more than 1 character from each franchise. There's only 1 instance where I've done 2 from 1 franchise. But you'll see it. This is where you're really going to see our difference in tastes with anime, because I'm going to say stuff that I guarantee he will not know who they are. Starting with my number 10, Nizuma Eiji from Bakuman. I'm guaranteeing he's there going like, "What the hell is that show? I've never heard of that."
No, so I've actually read and watched Bakuman, but
I've
never finished it.
Okay. Those who don't know, Bakuman is basically, it's an anime about 2 high school classmates who try to become manga writers. One's the writer, one's the artist. And Nizuma Eiji is like the he starts off as a rival, he becomes a friend, sort of thing. The reason why I picked him is because he's a great example, almost a perfect example of a supporting character being the rival aspect to sort of elevate the main characters up and up and up. I think he's like a great example of that, because he's not just constantly out for blood with them, he sees them as friendly competition. And I think that's it helps elevate the main characters and motivate them and keep them going, which is what a supporting character is meant to do. It's supposed to support them on their journey. And he does that through being a rival of sorts. My number 9, I'm surprised you didn't mention this anime, but okay, is Genos from One Punch Man. Genos from One Punch Man, I think, is the perfect supporting character to the absolute slapstick that is One Punch Man, because he is so deadly serious. He's so serious. It's a rule in comedy. You need the straight face. You need you need the person who acts normal in order to elevate the comedy of everything else going on around them, and that's Genos.
I think if you like the pairing between Genos and Saitama, you're really gonna like Kaiju number 8. Think of him just not a slapstick overpowered. I mean, in a way it is, but Kaiju number 8. I think you're gonna like it. It's very similar.
Okay, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go for sure. But Genos, to me, he's the straight man. He's the straight talker. He's the serious face in absolute slapstick. And that's what he elevates the comedy so much through his seriousness. And so he's almost a supporting character to us in a way, because like, yes, he's helping the main character, but he's letting us enjoy the comedy more by just being so serious. My number 8, which again, I'll be impressed if you heard of this anime. I've done a couple of deep cuts here without meaning to, is Nodame from Nodame Cantabile, which is actually a music anime.
I've not.
It's a music anime. I think it's from like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was one of the first anime that I watched. Okay. The gist, for those who don't know, it's a show about a guy who wants to be a composer, and it's like his journey through like music college or whatever, trying to find like his path to becoming a composer and all that kind of thing. And Nodame is his classmate / like neighbor, all those sort of things. she's the romantic interest, but she's very much the supporting character, and that she supports him in his journey towards it. I think she's a great example of how you can have a supporting character in a romance. And so yeah, that's why I've picked her. I think she's great. That's all my serious ones. Now it's just fun. Right? Number 7 is Speedwagon from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So
I have been told so many times to sit down and watch JoJo, but I haven't. I really haven't. I don't know any characters. Oh wait, no, I know one. It was popular on TikTok.
I know. There's so many characters in JoJo's that are iconic. If you don't know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, basically each season you follow a different member of the Joestar family or someone related to them in some way. Basically, there's always somebody whose nickname is JoJo, who is part of this lineage, essentially. And they're trying to stop a big bad without spoiling anything. They're trying to stop a big bad, and it's like a generational thing, right?
Okay.
My next 2 are from the same series, and I couldn't because I wanted to pick one from this series, and I couldn't because they're both iconic. Number 6, as much as I don't personally like him, I had to pick him, Pikachu. I had to pick him. I had to pick him. You cannot have one of the most iconic anime ever and not have the main supporting character from that anime.
You know? I didn't even know you liked Pokemon.
Oh, no, what? I mean, I might like it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I picked Pikachu for the obvious reason. He's throughout the whole series, he's there helping Ash achieve his goal. Obvious reasoning. My number 5 is the far superior supporting character from Pokemon, Brock. The Jelly Donut Man himself.
You know what?
Jelly Donut Man himself.
I am going to toast my drink to that because Brock is iconic. Brock cracks me up. He was my favorite character growing up.
Yeah. The beginning of my top 5 is Brock because, I mean, the man eats jelly donuts that are very clearly onigiri. The man has a frying pan to protect him from the rain. He's iconic. He's amazing. I love him. He's also like a pure supporting character because he's there to, one, help inform Ash, but mainly, let's face it, he's informing us. He's letting us know. He's there to make sure that we know what's going on. And so while he's supporting Ash, he's also supporting the viewers, which is awesome. So yeah, that's my top 5. Spoiler warning. Here's my spoiler for number 4. If you have not fully watched Naruto and Naruto Shippuden specifically, this is going to be a spoiler for you. He's in Naruto, but he's he's in my top 5 because of what happens in Shippuden. So if you've not seen to the end, my number 4 is Jiraiya Sensei from Naruto.
You know, I'm ashamed that I didn't even think of him.
So Jiraiya Sensei from Naruto. Those who don't know, you're going to get a lot spoiled for you here, but he essentially, Naruto is the character who is ignored from childhood. He's treated as an outcast. He's got all this stuff. You could argue Jiraiya is the first person who just accepts him from the beginning. He just accepts him. You find out why later on. You find out what his connection is with him, but like, he's the first person to just outright accept him for who he is. He takes him under his wing. He trains him. He teaches him. He gives him. He almost gives him the father figure he never had.
100%.
And the way that his story comes to its conclusion is one of the biggest moments in the entire show, in my opinion.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so Jiraiya for me, I had so many Naruto characters I wanted to pick. I wanted a Naruto character on the list. I considered Kakashi, I considered like Sasuke and all that sort of thing, but like, no, it had to be Jiraiya for me. It had to be Jiraiya.
Yeah, I was bouncing around the idea of Kakashi, but I mean, yeah, I didn't. I can't come up with a good reason not to.
It's fair. There's so many amazing characters from Naruto, but I had to pick Jiraiya. I understand why you picked Shikamaru, but yeah, I had to pick Jiraiya. My top 3 now, though. My top 3.
All right, let's crack into it.
My number 3 is Vegeta. I'm clearly the true Dragon Ball Z fan. I'm the superior Dragon Ball fan, not you, Mister. I've met the cast countless times, and I've got all the pop vinyls and all that kind of thing. Vegeta is top 3. Come on, Vegeta is my number 3 because he is the absolute epitome of rival turned friend who becomes like the person who elevates Goku to the level he needs to be.
Yeah, it's 7 seasons of redemption arc.
It's 7 seasons of redemption arc, like the Margin saga, obviously the original saga that he's in, the Frieza saga. Like he is just the perfect example of enemy turned ally, and I just think he's one of the best, if not arguably the best, non-main character in anime. The other 2 that I've chosen are just because of their role with the main character.
My number 10 and your number 3. That's so funny.
Yeah. My number 2 is Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ooh, that's an oldie.
It's an oldie but a goodie. Joey Wheeler
Joey.
is just so iconic. The dubbed version of him is iconic. Like the horrendous Brooklyn accent. But Joey is just so iconic. Like he is the, as far as I'm aware, he's one of like a handful of people in the show who doesn't cheat. he doesn't cheat.
Everything with him is it's very honest, very genuine.
Yeah.
Like everything about him is, front facing. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah, exactly. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's got an amazing reason for why he's doing it at the beginning. This is a guy who comes in as a complete novice, and in the very first arc, he destroys the competition. He's a natural card player in this world.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's a natural. He doesn't cheat, unlike a certain Yugi boy, who believes in the heart of the cards, where he's just cheating. He's cheating, right? Joey. Obviously, all the characters play it fast and loose with the rules in the first season until they establish the rules of the game. But Joey is amazing. Like he's an amazing supporting character. He's amazing friends to the main character. He's a natural talent. The fact that he can not cheat and still take on the cheaters and win most of the time, he's an incredible character, and he's an incredible supporting character to the main character.
I know he's almost impossible to beat in some of the old video games. I hated him.
In the games he's ridiculous. He's damn near unbeatable in the games.
Yeah.
But that's them emphasizing how much of a natural talent he is. But my number 1 is the only supporting character who could be more of a supporting character than Joey, and it's Zoro. Zoro, your number 2, my number 1. Honorable mention to every other Straw Hat.
It was hard. I literally could have just done 9 Straw Hats and Vegeta.
I could have done the same. I could have done all the Straw Hats. I could have put Vegeta on there. My only honorable mentions, honestly, are the other Straw Hats, and I was considering putting Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist. Just because he's amazing comic relief. But
realistically, I think anime have done such a fantastic job of not just establishing their main characters, but even like modern day anime in particular, they're so good about including everybody. It's the friends we made along the way. It's a meme, but anime does a fantastic job at pointing that out.
It really does, and I think it's epitomized with Zoro. Like, Zoro has been Luffy's companion since day 1. Since, episode 2 or 3, something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's literally episode 2.
2 or 3, yeah. Like, episode 1 is him going to Zoro. Episode 2 or 3 is Zoro agreeing to join him. Like, he's been there since the beginning. He's been there for 1,000+ episodes, and not once has his loyalty wavered. Like, not once. Not once. Almost every Straw Hat has had their moment of doubt with Luffy. Zoro has never had it. Like, Zoro has never doubted him. Zoro is the voice of reason when he needs him, with spoilers, with certain issues with other crew members later on and everything. Zoro is the one who goes, no, you can't allow that. You can't allow that kind of behavior on your crew. And, like, he's the one who steps in. He's also the first, I think, example of when Luffy says jump, he says how high.
Yeah.
You know? Like, well, I'm thinking specifically, if you've not gotten there yet, I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry, but with Eni's lobby, like when they're going to Eni's lobby, Luffy just says, cut it. What does he do? Stands up and cuts it. Like, it's just instant. Like, there's no questioning. There's no, like, oh, what are you talking about? How can I do it? Just, okay, stands up and does it.
I was going to say, there's one gag that they've used a couple times in the series where Luffy likes to just, launch his arm out, grab something, and then just rocket everybody with it.
He grabs Zoro, yeah.
So Zoro at the beginning, he's shocked. He's never seen a rubber man who has. And so he's always taken aback by it. But as the show goes on, you can see him smiling more. He enjoys the thrill of it. And he does support Luffy perfectly.
Of course he does. And there's a lot of people who say post-time skip Zoro has lost his sense of humor and that kind of thing. That's not true. He has his sense of humor with Luffy. He has a sense of humor with Luffy. He's the guy who steps up and goes, right, we need to take this seriously now. We need to take this seriously now. It's not a game anymore. They've had all these bad things that are spoiler happen to them. And he's gone, right, buck up, time to get on with it and get on business. You see him laughing, you see him having fun, but he is the one who's always there the most for Luffy. I was debating putting Brook on my list as well, because Brook to me is the other Straw Hat who's never once questioned him. I think Frankie maybe hasn't questioned him, but yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think that they're doing a lot with the other Straw Hats. I think they're doing a lot with the other Straw Hats now to sort of like get them the same place as Zoro is. Mm-hmm. But Zoro has always been there.
No, Zoro is the right-hand man.
Yeah. I've seen some horrendous takes that Sanji is the right-hand man. He's not. No. Zoro is the right hand for a reason. He is, for me, like, obviously Oda, the creator of One Piece, took huge inspiration from Dragon Ball. You can see the Vegeta Zoro resemblances. You can see that he's taken it from there. And so, yeah, for me, Zoro is the perfect supporting character.
Yeah.
So that's why he's my number one.
I can support that. The only reason he didn't get my number one is just because I've always enjoyed Robin's character. Outside of that, when I started off, I put Zoro as the number one, and then I was like, I need to tick that down. I put Vegeta as the number 10 from the start. I was like, we're going to start this list off here. I try not to bring my bias of Dragon Ball Z into everything.
That's fair.
So,
you use Vegeta as your benchmark.
Then
win it up. Yeah.
You got to be better than Vegeta.
It's a tall order, but you found 9 who did it, apparently. Whereas I only found 2.
But either way, who's your favorite characters? There's so many different anime. We've seen a handful between the two of us, and I know you guys have definitely seen a handful. It's popular media. So who's your favorite supporting character? Let us know down below in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If
you have any more top 10 lists you want us to do, doesn't have to be anime, it can be anything. Let us know in the comments or in the Discord, which you can get a link to in the description.
Yep, down low. And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.